right, it is the top of the hour, so I guess we'll get running. There's a bunch of people still coming in, but we'll make it happen. So, thank you everybody for being here today. Marilyn Wilson, I'm the president of RE Technology with one of my good friends, Franklin Stouffer, who is the sales manager, and I don't know, he's got a really long title, like chief cook and bottle washer. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff over there. Let's put it that way. So as I think many of you are aware, and probably why you're here today, is that the landscape for the competitive landscape has shifted significantly. You have a major new brokerage entering into the space with frankly very unique skills and depth of character that many brokerages do not have yet, but we're going to show you how you can, right, Franklin?
Absolutely.
So Franklin's going to first kind of explain to you what Zillow's doing, how it's changed from where it has before. But importantly, because I know when I talk to a lot of brokerages and agents, everybody's kind of worried, like, how do I compete? How do I do differently? And, you got to kind of pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But importantly, remember that individual brokerages and individual agents have unique skills, they serve a unique position, and of course have great relationships with so many people. And Franklin's going to really show you how to leverage all of that, right? You're never going to have 179 million unique visitors a month like Zillow does. But there's a lot of other things that you have that frankly probably are as if not more valuable for potential doing business. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Franklin, and then feel free, guys, down below, there's a chat button. I'm sure probably at this point we've all been on on Zoom a million times, but if you don't remember, just go down to that chat and send in a note. And throughout the session, we'll be happy to stop and answer your questions. And then, of course, at the end, we may add more questions and answers as well. So jump in, and Franklin, take it away. He's got some great stuff for you. So have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for the introduction. And hopefully we'll get to have a little bit of a dialogue throughout the call. So as you see things, please, we're more than happy to jump in and give some additional context to what I'm talking about. So one thing I want to kind of start with before we even jump into the presentation and going over the information that I have prepared today is I did just want to say up front that there's going to be great content and takeaways for any real estate professional on this call. Real estate agents that are just focused on their business, team leaders, office managers, or broker owners. There's something here for everybody with takeaways that you guys can absolutely be putting into your business today. So the goal is you're walking away from this call not just getting an idea and talking about what's Zillow doing, but things that you guys can start implementing into your business to help you with your planning. So I definitely want to make sure everybody knows this is being recorded. It'll go up on the RE Technology YouTube channel. So if you miss something, don't worry. You can always come back and you'll be able to find the recording of this call. With that being said, thank you everybody for taking some time to sit down with me today. And we're just going to kind of jump into it.
Actually, before we start, Franklin, I just got to note that folks are having trouble getting into the chat. Q&A works just as fine. So on your far right-hand side of the bottom of your screen, you see Q&A. Just feel free to ask a question there.
Yep, okay, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, go for it.
And I wanted to begin with just saying that disruptors is not just a buzzword. You've probably seen tons and tons of different headlines on Inman News, Riz Media, RE Technology. There's a ton of just activity happening inside of real estate. And disruptors is kind of a buzzword that you've heard for a long time. But something that we want to kind of do is start to reframe how you're thinking of Zillow's making moves, Zillow's getting into the brokerage business. They're starting to shift their actual business practices, something like using IDX data on their website instead of how they traditionally used to get data to the site, which is going to make their site even faster and has an impact on their rankings for things like an address search. On top of that, you've got all sorts of different activity that are not just restricted to Zillow. It's not just one company. You've got CoStar starting to enter the mix as well, which has major implications. But one thing that I want to kind of frame is don't think about this as disruptors. Really, these are competitors of yours. Some of them have already been impacting the market, like a Compass or an Open Door. You're going to see more of that in the coming years. I mean, Zillow or CoStar, those are big ships, and typically it takes a little bit of time to get them to course correct or change what they're doing. But I would guarantee you within a couple of years, you're going to be feeling impacts on your business for the things that they're doing and their actual moves. Like I mentioned earlier, changing the data on Zillow's website to be IDX data is a big pivot, but they've moved forward with doing that. Employing realtors or employing actual salaried employees on staff that are going to be working with a consumer in a buying or selling capacity. is a big change, and they are making those types of moves. And so I just think it's really important that you don't just think of this as any other disruptor that you've heard at a real estate conference over the last 5 years. This is significantly different. Zillow is a very big beast in the industry. But one thing you'll hear me say throughout the call is, despite their size, they are incredibly efficient at making pivots with their business strategy. And another great example of that is what they're doing right now with charging for rentals. So it's not even just what you're doing on your traditional residential side, but Zillow is actually charging people to put a rental listing up on the site. And I believe that's $10 a week just to keep a rental up, where we know in the rental industry, there's not a lot of huge margins there usually. So keeping a listing up for a rental property, that's going to make an impact on your business if you're on the property management side. So kind of before I get into the rest of the framing of this, Marilyn, is there anything else you want to add about some of the bigger moves that Zillow is doing that are actionable that people are going to start seeing?
So first of all, I've heard from some brokers that they're not worried because the sort of Zillow's first foray is into the iBuyer space, and they're like, well, that's not in our market. Guess what? Zillow is joining every MLS across the country. They published that they're doing that. They're going to be in every market, and they're in many markets already. So if you think this is something that's coming, it's not coming. It's here, and it's a significant change in the way the market will work. It's a significant change in who will have access to IDX information. Before, it was only brokers, and Zillow was considered a third party. Not anymore. They're one of your peers now. So it's going to change. And I would highly recommend that everybody go onto the Zillow website and spend some time. Look at the way they're treating premier agents. Look at the places now where you don't get a premier agent. You just get an agent that comes from inside of Zillow. That's more of a, sort of a transaction manager type of person. So get familiar with what they're doing. It's not just in those few iBuyer markets that people might like to think.
Absolutely.
So with that, I'd say, go ahead.
So there's a couple of things that you can start taking as actionable items in your business today. And I've kind of framed these in myself in what we're doing at Delta Media Group as a technology partner that works with hundreds of real estate agencies and tens of thousands of agents, is we're really trying to help frame that technology and the tools that are available to you in the marketplace today are things that you can begin implementing in your business to start seeing an impact immediately and help prevent disruption in your business. And so we've really categorized the services and the tools and the automations that are available for real estate agents, teams, broker owners to go out and find and source. We've put them into these buckets, and we're going to cover those today. And the first one of those is being powerful. You can be powerful with your brand. And one thing that you can do is have a beautiful looking website that does have lead capture capabilities, but more importantly, has the ability for you to provide information to your clients that are in your market about why you are an expert in that marketplace. And you really want to be able to build something that accurately represents your company and your brand and get unique with it, and really spend time focused on what is the story you want to tell to your clients to help get across that you are a local agency or that you are a part of a national franchise. But the goal is that you're being powerful and intentional with your branding, because at the end of the day, I think Zillow has a very bland brand. And you have the opportunity of highlighting what makes you unique on your site. And it's not just for brokerages, but obviously you have a big opportunity to be showcasing quality content and information on team websites. Easy turnkey customizable agent websites are available. And before I dig too much deeper on the website side and branding, I do want to just kind of reiterate that there's a common misconception for realtors that agent websites are worthless, or they're not lead generating, or I'm not getting business from my site. So why would I spend any time or money or resources on making a good looking website if I'm not getting leads through my agent website? And I would really challenge you on that thinking, because NAR's research studies had shown that the majority of millennial home buyers will Google the name of their realtor at some point during the home buying or transaction process. And they're going to find a website that you've had at some point over the years, and you're going to want your brand to be representative of who you are in 2021, not a website that's 10 or 15 years old. There's a lot of great options that are available that can really showcase you've got a great looking brand. And if a buyer sees that, you want them to have confidence that I'm working with a realtor, I'm working with a company that really is in the know and is paying attention to web trends and what's going on. So you have people seeing it.
So Franklin, Alan Baker has an interesting, it's not really a question, but it's a point, but I think it underlines what you're talking about. He said, the most troubling aspect of Zillow was a statement made in a recent Inman article. Speaking of the amount of venture capital involved with Zillow, it's really hard to compete with a company that doesn't have to worry about losing money. The iBuyer program has lost millions, but they're bent on buying the curve. So I think it underlines the point that, you know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? And they find partners that they can go to battle with that are going to help them win. And I think that's really the message here is it's easy to shrink up, get worried, say, oh, I could never compete against them. But the truth is the local depth of knowledge and relationships that all of you have, I don't care how good your algorithm is, it's never going to be able to beat that. And it's never going to be able to outmarket terrific local marketing and individual marketing like you're talking about. So
Absolutely. And that's actually a perfect pivot point, because let me just reiterate that there is opportunities to beat Zillow in search engines. So when I'm talking about being powerful, be powerful in the search engines as well. And specifically, this is talking about brokerages have a really, really good opportunity to rank for phrases like homes for sale in a particular neighborhood, homes for sale in a subdivision. Somebody saw a sign in a yard and they Google an address. Those are things called mid-tail and long-tail search phrases. And really what the portals are doing is they're being very dominant with a short tail search phrase. Something like homes for sale in Cleveland, Ohio is going to be owned by realtor.com and Zillow and Trulia. However, they're not really getting down to that specific local level where you guys are operating, where you can be absolutely capitalizing on phrases like homes for sale in a local subdivision or in a particular school district, or somebody that's Googling addresses. One of the great ways that at Delta, we're empowering our brokerages and therefore their agents is because on our websites, we've developed proprietary software that is dynamically generating content for every single subdivision, school district, neighborhood, as well as optimizing landing pages for every single listing. So that when you have consumers in a marketplace like Cleveland, if they Google an address because there's a sign in a yard and they're interested, typically it's our clients going to be in the first top 3 spaces of Google. You can absolutely win for those phrases. And while you're right, you won't have 39 million unique site visitors, you will have more qualified traffic on your site, because I can't tell you the number of times my wife has told me, she was bored and she was just looking at houses. I mean, that's something that people do. And qualified buyers typically aren't looking for just an address or homes in a particular neighborhood. Those people are a little bit more qualified than just general, hey, what's going on in this city? So it's more qualified traffic. So when those leads come through, they're actually somebody that voluntarily gave you information. You have a much higher probability of working with and closing that lead. And by the way, we're seeing this in all markets. Even if you are a small broker or a small team, we see significant increases in traffic and lead generation from companies that are paying attention to SEO, utilizing these types of phrases, mid-tail phrases and or long-tail phrases. So this is just 6 different case studies that we had done at the beginning of 2020. We actually ran a case study in June analyzing the data of a bunch of our different clients in a variety of markets, in a variety of different sized companies during the worst parts of COVID. From January through May of 2020, we looked at how were our clients performing online. And what we saw was across the board, our clients on average are only spending between $2 and $10 for organic leads. And that kind of opens the door to a bigger conversation about different type of leads you can have. And when somebody says organic lead, that means somebody like a consumer did a search on Google or Yahoo or Bing. They did a search in a search engine, and then they clicked on one of the links that came up in the search results. So somebody Googling an address or homes for sale in a school district. And then that person came to one of our websites and voluntarily filled out a contact form or requested information on a property or a showing request. And what we had saw is that not only were these leads increasing, but organic leads have a much higher probability of actually closing or holding a conversation than a paid lead that you're paying for advertising, or a forced registration lead, and you get a lot of Mickey Mouse leads, people just filling out a form to keep looking at the houses, or even leads that come from social media. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, those are great sources to get traffic back to your site, but typically you're not generating leads from strategies you're running on social media. That's great for your brand, great for impressions and visibility, but there's nothing better than organic leads, somebody looking for something, coming to your site and voluntarily giving you their information. And these are quality leads that can be generated. There's power in
Franklin, I mean, I love what you're saying is, first of all, these are less expensive than buying in a whole city, and they're more effective, and they're more likely to become real clients. Do you help your clients figure that out? Because I know for you, who's like brilliant at this stuff, you go, oh, SEO, and you know exactly what that means. Most people are not living and breathing that stuff. Do you actually help people figure out how to get these really good returns on organic leads?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have a full in-house digital marketing agency that assists our clients, provides monthly reporting, lets them know what strategies are working, what's not, what we need to course correct on. At Delta and with other vendors that are in the marketplace as well, not just exclusive to us, but there's a lot of companies that do have a marketing arm to the agency. So you're not just partnering with somebody to build you a website or build you a CRM, but an actual digital marketing division that can help you with these strategies and really find out what's the unique path to take for your brand. Obviously, it's going to be a lot harder to rank for a certain type of phrase in Boston, Massachusetts than it's going to be in Mansfield, Ohio, where Mansfield has a population of less than 80,000. So we can be really intentional and specific about the different types of markets and assist you with those things, or even setting up ad campaigns.
Awesome. Okay.
So I kind of want to take a second to bring Zillow back into the fold, though, and reiterate, Zillow is powerful in the search engines as well. As we talked about earlier, if you're looking for homes for sale near me, you're looking for homes for sale in a state or a general city, that's called a short tail phrase. And that's where they're getting the majority of their traffic. So unless you are paying for those types of phrases, like I mentioned earlier, paid advertising to generate paid leads, you're never going to rank for those short tail phrases. And my recommendation would be not to even spend significant time trying to optimize for those phrases, because they put millions and millions of dollars in to have that space. And really, this is where the majority of their traffic does come from. If somebody just looks in Google for homes for sale in a city or state, they land on Zillow, just because that's where they're optimizing. Again, you can get better quality traffic and leads by optimizing for a mid-tail or long-tail strategy, especially at a brokerage level. The bigger your geographic footprint, the more listings on your site, the better exposure you can have. For the single agents that are on the call or the smaller teams, there is good paid advertising strategies you can run to good success. And you can still work on optimizing landing pages for neighborhoods and communities that you service. So there is still a strategy even for the single agents, but really the SEO, the search engine optimization play, is more effective for brokerages. Which kind of leads me into the second category. It is efficiency. And Zillow is efficient. I mean, if you look at the history of this company, they launched in 2005. Originally, services were free. Then they started charging brokerages. Then they started charging agents. Then they've got Zillow offers. Now they're working with agents and with consumers in specific markets. And literally within 16 years, this company that's launched is worth and valued at over $30 billion. I mentioned earlier, kind of moving the ship that large is a daunting task. Zillow has shown repeatedly that they can do it, and they can do it very, very well. So I would definitely keep that in mind, that Zillow is efficient in their business, and you really need to focus on efficiencies in your business as well. Otherwise, this is one of the biggest areas where they're going to be able to make impacts and disrupt your business. So
just to underline that again, we're not talking about someday, somehow it might happen someday in my market. We're talking about right now. Like, actually, if you haven't already responded, you're late, because if you go to their site, it looks completely different than it did a few months ago. And it's going to, I'm sure, continue to get better and better and better. From what I understand, Zillow does research with consumers every single week. So this is not a nice to have, this is a gotta have. You got to get on this right away.
Definitely. And in one way that there's a big opportunity for a lot of agents, teams, and brokerages to increase efficiencies in their business is through automation and automated tools that are available. And sometimes I've heard pros and cons and different conversations in the real estate industry over automation, and really we want our realtors to be doing this job. We don't want to automate it. But the goal is that the automations and the technology are supplementing what you're doing in your business. It's freeing up more time for you to focus on your relationships and focus on selling and buying houses. It's not we're automating components of your job that you should be doing. These are taking the things you don't want to be doing and automating them. The things you don't like doing, but you know you need to be doing, their technology is there. You can automate those things and really, really make an impact on your business. And we believe this truly to our core at Delta Media Group. Our mission statement is we automate to elevate life. We want to make life better for real estate agents and companies, and as well as the consumers using those sites and going through that process with a real estate agent. But before I even dig into any of the automated tools that you can start using to be more efficient, I really want to frame this as to why you should care about a CRM and really what this means and why you should focus on it so Zillow doesn't disrupt this. Is NAR's research from 2020 that they had released, where they analyzed their 2019 data. They had shown that experienced realtors that have been doing this for at least 16 years or more had 39% of their business come from repeat business and clients they had already worked with. So that's huge. But then take that a step further. On top of that, another 29% of their business came from referrals from past clients. So that's 68% of your business you've already worked with. They already know you. They're in your sphere. And at the end of the day, what is a CRM designed to do but keep you in touch with the people in your database? You already have their information. They've worked with you. You can have happy birthday emails. You can have automated content about real estate running to them. You can keep yourself top of mind because you don't want to have an opportunity for Zillow to come in and crack into that 68% of your business that you should already have locked down. And that's going to become more and more important. You want to keep and grow that 68% number larger and larger, because at the end of the day, if you've already helped somebody buy or sell a home and you were reliable and you were good during that process and made it easy for them and not a painful process, why wouldn't they work with you again? Why would they give Zillow a second time of day if they've already had a positive experience with you, their realtor? So this is really, really important because the CRM and automated tools are going to help keep that business captured for you and give less opportunity for Zillow to disrupt it. And one final thing on that before we dig into the tools is I really want to hammer home that setting up a CRM does not need to be a painful process. I won't name any names, but there is large franchise brokerages that have sent out training guides and resources and information about how long it takes to actually set up your website or your CRM. And I've seen some brochures say it's a 25-hour process to set up your website and CRM. And that is ridiculous. We've been doing this at Delta since 1994 for over 26 years. We've been helping real estate agencies. We've got a great proven process for agents, teams, and brokerages. We're literally in a single afternoon, if you're a single agent, in one sit-down setting, our onboarding specialists will help get your website set up and personalized for you, get your contacts imported, get automations running. We can literally automate your business in a single day, and you don't have to worry about it again. It is truly a set it and forget it. Let the automations work for you. Like I said, we've been doing this a very, very long time. This is not a 25-hour excursion to set up a system. So just know
Franklin,
that.
I gotta believe with those kinds of that level of depth of support that you have, that you're getting better adoption. I know some brokers, spend a lot of money on trying to provide really valuable tools and then just doesn't happen for them. Do you see that there's a depth of more, a deeper level of engagement with brokers that are working with you because it is easier to get on board?
Absolutely. The entire update we've made to our process for anybody that may be on the call that's looked at Delta at some point in the last 25 years, we released DeltaNet version 6, which was the most recent update to our CRM platform. And that update was years in the making and focused entirely on user experience and how a realtor is actually going to use technology in their business. And what we've done is streamlined all the automations we're about to talk about into a very, very easy to use. You set up this automation, the system is running for you. So some of the bullet points of really what the technology is doing and how we are seeing a higher level of engagement and adoption rates in our platform is because I sit down in front of the computer. It's my first time logging into the DeltaNet, or I pull out my phone and I'm logging in for the first time. We have an easy to see button right on your homepage that says automations. And literally I can sit down and in 15 minutes, I have automated posts running to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I have automated newsletters running to everybody in my database with customized, tailored content for buyers, sellers, and homeowners. I've got my pipeline automatically updating with my transaction management software. If I'm using SkySlope or Dotloop, I'm going to have automated updates for my transaction management software populating in my CRM. I mean, there's a ton of automations built in that in one setting, you can have all of your drip campaign marketing running. You can have your favorite flyers built and running. It's really not a long process, and we've made it as painless as possible. And what we've seen is in some offices for clients working with us, they've got over a 90% adoption rate of automated posts on their social channels for all the agents in that office, for newsletters that are running to their clients. And on top of that, there's other ways you can be efficient in your business, such as when a lead comes through your website, it's not, oh, I got an email or I have to log in to see my leads. We send you a text message notification instantly so you can respond to that lead. Every time you get a new listing, an open house, a price reduction, one of your clients left you a review, it's going to automatically make a post on your Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter channels for you. We are also pulling in testimonials. I mean, I know before my wife goes and buys a new vacuum cleaner, she's going to look up the reviews of that vacuum because she's not going to buy one that's got a 2-star review. You better believe people are going to be looking up reviews for the realtor they're trusting with the biggest transaction of their lives. And so we can just say, connect my Deltanet account to Facebook, to Zillow, Real Satisfied, Testimonial Tree, pull in those reviews all into one source. And in a 5-star system, it makes it easy for your clients to read testimonials that have been left for you. And one of the other really big ones is we're trying to eliminate duplicate data entry for you wherever you can. So if I add a new contact into my phone and I use G Suite or Office 365, if I had a contact into my phone, they're in my CRM and now they're enrolled in different drip campaigns. Or if I have a lead come in through my website, that lead's automatically going to be in my phone's contacts. Same thing with calendar, with emails. We are synchronizing calendar, contacts, and emails directly with your CRM if you are a user of G Suite or Office 365. And on top of that, one of the biggest painful things that sales professionals have to do is sales prospecting. I mean, truly nobody really likes cold calling or figuring out who am I going to call today? I need to get some more business going. One of the things that Deltanet does for you, and other systems can as well, is generate automated tasks lists for what do I need to be working on today? So Marilyn, if you came to my website last night and you looked at 2 listings, the system's going to automatically create a to-do in my system saying, hey, give Marilyn a call. These are the 2 listings she looked at yesterday. If you clicked on one of my newsletters and came to my site, I have a new task the next day saying, here's the content Marilyn was reading. You want to give her a phone call about it? There's over a dozen different automated triggers that we can have in place to create tasks for a realtor, showing them these are the people that are already engaging with you. These are your warm leads. Give them a call, and you're going to already have qualified information when you pick up the phone and call them. So you're seeing information relevant to what their activity already is. It's not really a cold call.
So we got a couple of questions coming in. First one's from Diana. She said, if you're a Zillow Premier agent today and your company has the Delta platform, can you automatically stream your leads in there? So do you connect with their, with the opportunities there into the DeltaNet platform?
Yes, we do have third-party lead parsing. We can pull in those leads from Zillow. We're already doing that. And then just on that front, for anybody that may be using other programs, we're also integrated with Zapier. So we do support Zaps to be able to pull in leads directly into the Delta CRM as well.
And then the other question, and this is more of a Zillow strategy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but they're asking, is Zillow going to get rid of all of their, I don't know what their program's called, but like their agent ratings program, is that going away, or is it because some people get leads from that as well, right? What's happening with that? Do you know?
I actually haven't seen anything about if that's going away or not. I don't have any insights to that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And really the last thing that I was going to mention on the efficiency side of things is that we also have a built-in open house app. I know there's a lot of markets where open houses aren't really happening, and there's other markets where they're picking back up again. So I will just mention that we have a built-in application that allows you to streamline the process of running an open house, where you want to be able to collect information on people coming to your open house. And with our system, if you, Marilyn, came to an open house that I was running, you filled in your sign-in information. Here's my name, my email address. There's also built-in surveys. So I can be asking you questions like, are you pre-approved for a mortgage? Are you already working with another realtor? What do you think of the curb appeal of this house? And then based on how you answer those survey questions, we can drop you into different automated follow-up campaigns in our CRM to make that really, really easy so that you have a collected information on your people at the open house and then have automated follow-up happening. You didn't have to do anything.
So we've got a bunch of questions coming in. I think we'll let you finish, kind of walking through it, and then we'll come back to them. So if you guys have asked questions, hold on, we will get to you.
Yeah. And so something else that I would kind of say as far as efficiency goes is there's a lot of CRMs with a ton of different bells and whistles, like hundreds of things they can do. And our system is no different. But one thing that I would encourage you guys is to find a platform that is customizable to you. I mean, a lot of companies want to force you into a particular box. And I think it's really, really important in your business to be able to customize your dashboards and the features that you're going to actually apply in your business so you can get them all in one place. So as an example, in our system, you can actually customize what are the features you want to have right front and center on your CRM. So if I log in every day, there's my automations button. Here's a link to my website. Here I can manage all my CRM tools. I don't have to kind of pick and choose and click around and take 3 different clicks to get to something like adding a new customer. If I know I'm going to do that a lot, I can just throw up an add customer button right on my dashboard. And you can see there's kind of some different examples I'm showing here of these dashboards and how they look on mobile devices. So you've got one company that's got a completely different set of tiles and buttons than another agency. And so you want to be able to customize your CRM so you can quickly and efficiently pull out your phone. You already know you've got one click and you're doing what you need to do in the system. So you can kind of build your own dashboards if you're more of a visual person. And one thing that I'd also mention is we also built what's called our quick actions, where if I know what I want the system to do, all I have to do is type it into the search bar. So on every page of our CRM, I could say, I want to add a customer. I type it in. It gives me the pop-up box where I can add the customer. If I want to build a flyer and I don't remember where the flyers are, I don't have to go sit through a 15-minute YouTube video about how to build my flyers. I can just type in flyer in the search bar. And it takes me directly to the flyer builder page. And the same thing goes for listings or addresses or clients. If I type in an address or the name of a customer, it's bringing that directly to me. So when I say efficiency, it's really taking out all the time-consuming parts of your business, like needing to spend hours and hours training to a new platform or spending hours and hours understanding all the systems at work. All you need to know is what you want the system to do, type it in, and it can do it for you. And that's going to save you a ton of time on the training side, as well as just general day-to-day operations. And so next, we want to help you be creative. Unless you want to take a minute to talk through some of the questions coming through.
Yeah, actually, there's one overarching question I think, probably a lot of people are wondering is Zillow still charging agents, or are they moving away from this, or are they double dipping?
I think that's kind of market dependent, isn't it? Isn't there some markets they're still running premier agents while they've got their own Zillow reps? So, I mean, it's a little bit of double dipping for now. And I don't think it's really clear what the end game is for, are they going to completely be getting rid of that program, or how long is it going to take to phase out? I don't think they've been very clear about that. And I think right now there are markets where double dipping is happening.
Yeah, I was just on a market. I was actually in Birmingham, Alabama last week, and I saw it where some listings, if you would reach out to them, you'd get Zillow to call you back. And I actually asked them, I said, I want to talk to the listing agent. Can I talk to the listing agent? And I got crickets. You were not able to do that. And then other listings did have what looked more like a historical premier agent sort of status. And then you were able to talk to that listing agent. So it looks like people are still paying. Will that go away? I mean, there's other sites that have sort of found that middle tier. Certainly an advantage that other brokerages don't have. Maybe other brokerages should think about that. I don't know, but anyway, so that's the answer. Let me see if there's a couple of others we can grab while we're here. You mentioned earlier, Franklin, that you can auto post information over to Facebook. The question is, doesn't Facebook frown on auto posting from another source?
Not really. I mean, Facebook, as long as you're not posting the same exact template every single time, one of the things that we do in our system is you can create custom post templates. So you're not posting the exact same thing over and over again. And that is one way that our system is different, is that we're not just automating your new listing posts or open houses or price reductions. We actually have automated content that's dynamic, that's being posted to our social channels. So we have a great campaign called My Customer for Life, which is our newsletter system. And so our marketing department actually writes a dozen different newsletters every single month that we're putting into this system for you. So you don't have to make your content. Our marketing team is doing it for you. And that same content that's in your newsletters, we're actually dynamically creating and automatically posting to your social media channels as well. So you actually have real estate content that's unique and different. And you can have a different article every day or one every other week. I mean, you can set the frequency you want for the posts, but we have dynamic content built in. So Facebook's not going to flag your page as being identical content over and over again, because we've got different dynamic content, or even things like reviews that are automatically published.
So what it looks like to me as a third party who's not a realtor, but I do a lot of marketing myself, is you're basically delivering what, when we're all honest with ourselves, we know the type of marketing we should be doing, but we don't always do it, or we don't always do it consistently. What it looks like to me is what you're telling us is, I'm going to help you do the things you need to do consistently, but I'm going to automate a lot of it. So you set it up. I want to say it's set it and forget it, but you set it up, and then if you work the system, and if you listen to what it tells you, if you treat it like your sales assistant, you pick up the phone at what it tells you to pick up the phone, you're going to grow your business. Is that kind of the bottom line here, Franklin?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's really important too is that what the My Customer for Life newsletter is doing, just as an example, is I hear a lot of, I don't want to say they're excuses, but in some cases they are, where a realtor won't upload their contacts. They won't even try to use a CRM, because they'll say, I've got this database of contacts, but it's just kind of a giant file. I don't have it sorted into buyers, sellers. I don't have hours and hours to go through and sort that list. So one of the things that's unique about Delta is that if you import your contact list, it doesn't matter if they're segmented or not, because you can put every contact you have in your database into our My Customer for Life campaign. And because that content has buyers, sellers, and general home improvement articles every single month, it's going to start reacting to how your consumers are interacting with your content. So if you're getting my newsletter and you clicked on a buyer article, Delta tracked that behavior. So then next week, when you click on a buyer article, we'll know, oh, okay, they're probably a potential buyer. They're reading the buyer articles. So we're going to send you more and more buyer content, while at the same time able to assign you a label of potential buyer and start helping segment your database for you, just based off how your clients are reading the data. So just if you have contacts, or even if you don't, it's the best time to start is today. Just start collecting that information, because there's tools that can help you segment it. And then we've got engagement scores and other AI scoring that happens in the background. Again, so you know who you should be spending your time calling, but that data is really rich and you want to get as much as you can. And don't let not having a segmented list stop you from using a platform.
So Jim Paulson has a good question too. He said, what do you perceive Z's strategy will be on going after the listing of FSBO's advertising on their site? Again, I was just spent a bunch of time, and I would highly recommend all of you just get in your market, just pretend you're a consumer and search around and see what you're seeing. I did see FSBOs, and I got to tell you, they were displayed just as beautifully as any other listing was. So at least in the market that I was looking at, it looked like FSBOs are definitely a part of it. Here's another question too. Regarding Zillow, I heard that as they entered the MLSs for all of our states, they meaning Zillow, was switching to a system where you pay for the referral, i.e. a 30% catch. So I called them to see if this was true, and they said no, that you will can be a premier agent and pay for zip codes. What's your sense of that? What are you seeing around the country, Franklin, on that?
Again, I would say I think that's just market dependent. I mean, Zillow's got a lot of different test markets. They're trying different things in different regions. So I don't think there's a clear-cut answer for that, because they're going to, like I said earlier, they're very efficient, they're methodical, and they're going to do test cases in different markets and figure out what works and before they apply it nationally.
And there are markets, by the way, to Franklin's point, that are using that referral model. So it is a real thing. It might just not be in your market, Linda, but we are seeing that. And again, it may change, it might expand or contract, who knows? I think they're probably in a huge experimentation phase right now about making this shift to broker. What can I do? What should I do? Where do I get the most engagement on my website when I don't have the four heads sitting there trying to parse off, buyer information? So again, I would highly recommend all of you guys, once a week, spend 3 minutes and just go swim around a little bit. It'll give you a sense of what's happening and what's changing in your market.
Absolutely. And that's where this next bullet point is going to become even more and more important, which is being creative, because Zillow is trying different things in different test markets. And I think it's really important that you guys be creative in your business and try different things too. Find a unique marketing strategy that's going to work for you. And so one thing that we've got built into our platform that you can find in other services as well is being able to create customizable and dynamic e-cards, flyers, print brochures, and more. And so how you're marketing listings is going to become an even more important part of your pitch, because put yourself in the shoes of a Zillow agent that's going to be competing for a listing with a traditional realtor. I mean, if I was going to sell my house and I'm getting 2 different listing presentations, Zillow is going to be able to tell me I get 39 million eyeballs on my website every single week. That's going to market itself. But you guys need to be very intentional and creative in your strategies on how you're going to present your services to somebody that's going to potentially list their home, because your pitch has to be even stronger now, because that is something that's going to be hard to overcome if you're not prepared for it. And so one thing I recommend is creating all sorts of really nice print pieces, e-cards, flyers. Have a good creative social strategy that you can easily show to a potential seller. This is how we're going to get this thing done. This is how we're going to market your property. And have data to back you up. This is why I'm better at that particular strategy. So sorry, give me just a second. I had a phone call. So you can really be intentional with your marketing, and there are tools that can help you automate the creation of that marketing. It does not need to be a big endeavor. So as an example, in our creative studio, there's hundreds of pre-built templates that you can fully control and customize. You could custom create your own designs. You can automate them. And this is a big piece, because let's say you build a really nice looking print piece that you're going to use in a lot of your marketing. You can build that favorite open house flyer or new listing flyer and then save it as an automation. And then every time you get a new listing at the MLS, it's going to build that print piece, email that to all of your active buyers, and it can even email you like a PDF or a PNG of that file, so you can quickly take it to the printers. So you want to find something that can be integrated with a printer like Express Docs or other services. And even for those of you with brokerages with marketing departments, we are integrated with Adobe InDesign. So your marketing team can create these great pieces where they're already familiar with a tool like Adobe InDesign, import it into the creative studio, and then your agents have the ability of modifying and creating that content and using it in their pitches. So e-cards, flyers, brochures, and more. The creative angle that you're going to take to the pitch really needs to be intentional. And what I would do, and I was looking at this last night and I actually was kind of laughing, is I can't remember a single memorable Zillow advertising campaign. I thought about it. I asked my wife to think about it. It's like, do you remember any Zillow commercials, any ads you ran that really caught your attention? It's overall very consistent, but very pretty much bland advertising. I mean, they really are carried by the power of their name alone. They don't need to get that creative. Marilyn, I'd ask, do you have anything that you could think of, or?
There were some good ads that were, if you remember the ones where the mom or the wife was at home and the dad was in the service and they were looking at listings together, that was kind of a tearjerker. So for those that are tearjerker type advertising people like I am, there were some good ones, but you're right. I mean, if you go way, way back, how did Zillow get established? They got established because they really did a great job with AVMs. That's what the Zestimate was. Remember in the days when they started that, everybody's house was going up $14 million every day. We were in this huge growth window. It became cocktail conversation at every party about what's your Zestimate. It became a household world. And let's go back, and there's a lesson to be learned from that. So at the time that they made Zestimates, did the industry have AVMs? Of course, we had tons of AVMs, right? But we were like, no, you must talk to us. That's our secret sauce. You can't get that. So Zillow said, hey, we're going to democratize that concept. And I know everybody wants to know how much their house is worth, and that's still true today. So we're going to democratize that. And so what did they do? They didn't do anything that we in the industry didn't already have. They just thought about it more from a consumer perspective, as opposed to like, well, that's my secret sauce and I don't want to give it away. That mindset has got to shift. You got to think about, what is your secret sauce? What makes you uniquely powerful? And then work with someone like a Delta who can help you leverage it and can bring it to life every single day. And keep those 68% of the people that are in your sphere, or ideally get it to 68% of the people that are in your sphere. Keep them in your family, because once they're with you, once you've done great work, I know all of you guys do great service. You wouldn't be listening to this if you don't. It all works, right? But you don't give up, don't get afraid, don't get complacent. None of those things are going to work right now. You got to get active, and you got to think about what you're good at and get even better at it.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to mention as well is Zillow is powerful in their name, but overall, they're relatively, from a consumer perspective, this is a relatively faceless agency. There's not really big faces on the consumer side of the marketing that they're doing. And I would say there is something to be said about the human element of advertising, especially when you're talking about independent brokerages or agents in really local markets. There is something to be said about the human element in the marketing that you're doing. And I think it's important that if you're really trying to connect with the people in your marketplace, you would keep that in mind. And that's just my own personal 2 cents. And I was looking at one of our company's websites yesterday, and I was looking at their agent roster page, just seeing if there's anything that agents were doing on this particular company to catch attention from somebody that might just be trolling and looking through realtor photos. Who do I see that looks like they may be a good fit to work with me? And I saw a realtor that had a picture that caught my attention. And I'm not saying this is the best type of marketing, but when I was looking through this agent roster, I saw this realtor and she caught my attention. And I clicked on her profile and I read information. This is a way that this realtor was being creative, and she thought of a different way to make herself stand out. And, I think there's something to be said about being really methodical, knowing your brand. And when I read her bio, it's all about how she likes to have a good time. She's fun, she's laid back. And that might be somebody that's a good fit for me. I don't need a really serious, stern professional. I want to have a little bit of fun as I'm going through this stressful process. So I would just challenge you to find different ways you can be creative.
So Cindy has a really interesting question, Franklin. I think it kind of wraps up a lot of what you're talking about. So she said, going back to the Zestimate conversation, part of the attraction of Zestimate was that the information was right there with no obligation or exposure. Consumers didn't need to ask for the information. How can you help with that? So, kind of a passive connections. And really, I think ultimately what you're saying, Cindy, is Zestimates invited people in to come to them as opposed to trying to go and grab them, right? So how can a system like Delta follow that same philosophy? If we want to attract people to us, we want to engage and educate them and bring them to us, as opposed to trying to go out and, grab them and say, come with me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different ways that you could be engaging with clients in that capacity, where Zillow had a really great tool that people heard about. They had Zestimate, and that was something that somebody wanted to go out and see what that was. There are, just as one example, and there's a variety of different ways you can engage with people with unique functionality in your marketplace, tools or technology or something cool that people are going to resonate with in your unique neighborhood or subdivisions or wherever you service. And as one example, we have an area around Northeast Ohio that's really not a government defined zone. It's kind of an area that's mixed between two cities. It's Montrose. And you've got, is this in Akron, Ohio? Is this in Canton, Ohio? You've got this kind of weird little zone that's not government defined, but everybody in the area knows about it. And so one of the tools that we have in our system is that you can go into our back end of the DeltaNet, draw a polygon, name it, make it searchable, build out content about that neighborhood. And because it's not a government defined zone, it's not something in the MLS data, it's not something that Zillow is going to have, companies are able to carve out. This is a bunch of great content. This is something that people in the neighborhood are searching for. They know it. I can showcase that I'm an expert in this area. And so you could leverage technology to build out content. Why am I a neighborhood expert? Here's the businesses in this market. And nobody else is talking about the market because it's not a government defined zone, but everybody in Northeast Ohio knew about it, knows about it. So there are ways that you can find unique methods to advertise, or create a draw. Come to my website, get 5 different estimates back on the value of your property. We've got our own built-in AVM tool that's calculating multiple different estimates. There's a variety of ways that we could kind of go down that rabbit hole, but definitely there are tools built into many CRMs. You just have to get a little creative in how you want to approach it. Find that niche.
And Cindy, we call that edutizing, right? So you have to provide value just like this estimate did, right? But if you have information like the example Franklin just used, there's great ways to get people to come to you when you really are providing value. And as Franklin said, also positioning yourself as the expert. Agents or consumers have lots of opportunity to get information right now. You have the best information. And there's a lot of tools in here that I'm seeing that's helping you leverage that to make sure that people know that you're really the right person for them to come to.
Absolutely. And actually, this is going to tie perfectly into what I'm talking about being reliable. This is one big thing I want you to really think about is Zillow might be powerful. Zillow might be creative, sort of. They're efficient. But is Zillow really reliable? This is a way that you can really hammer in on that 68% of your business you've already captured. Why would they work with you again if you help them move or buy a property? Ideally, they're going to contact you because you are that reliable expert during that massive transaction they went through. And you want to be reliable for all of the clients you have in your system. And there's ways you can be reliable for your buyers, for your sellers, for clients that aren't going to be moving for another 5, 10, 15 years. And so one way you can be reliable for your buyers is by setting up great safe searches that aren't just at the MLS, because a lot of agents will just set up a safe search at the MLS. But with the tools and technology that's available today, we can pull in and parse all of the different features and fields at the MLS. You could set up a safe search for your clients, and Delta pulls listing data faster than any other vendor in the market. We're faster than Redfin, faster than Compass. Within 2 to 3 minutes of a listing hitting the MLS, we've got that data, and that's triggering new listing alerts running to clients in the marketplace. So you want to talk about getting a draw to have somebody engage with you, advertise that you've got new listing alerts in the market faster than any of your competition. If you sign up for a safe search on my website, you're going to get the alert from me before anybody sees it from Zillow or any of the other competitors you have in your marketplace. So that's a great draw for your brand. And especially in really hot markets where listings are selling in less than 2 days, you want to be giving your clients that new listing alert instantly within minutes of it being on the marketplace.
That's a great example. Yeah.
At the same time, you want to be reliable for sellers. And I can tell you, I recently went through the process of selling a property of mine. And from the seller side, it was way more painful than any of the process I've gone through buying a property. And so I wish that my realtor had been using these reports because it would have given me a better idea on what was going on. And our seller reports are automatically generated, sent to the seller on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis, branded for the agent. And it gives the seller a breakdown of all the activity that's really happening with their listing. How many people are looking at it online, looking at the detail pages? What are the showings that have happened? We can automatically populate data from showing time. What open houses are you running and what's the activity there? And what advertising are you running for the property? So it can give a full and complete breakdown to the seller automatically of all the interest and all the things the realtor is doing. And it just saved you an hour every other week of putting this report together, of giving it to the seller because they're asking, hey, what did you do with my house this week? So having really great content that's set up to run to your sellers. But at the same time, I know agents often like to vet and you want to make sure the data is running, it looks good. So you can even set it up to run to you so you can audit it and then it'll go to your seller 24 hours later. Or I can see it first and then forward it off myself. I could modify comments. Maybe I see on the report, hey, this is showing as a comp listing. And I know my seller said that house, even though it's in the same neighborhood, it's not really a comp. So I can go ahead and pull it off the report so they don't see it. So being able to give quality information to your sellers without needing to spend a ton of time doing it. And then most importantly is once you do move somebody into a new neighborhood, or you run into somebody and you want them to know you're a realtor, you could say, hey, I want to start sending you great activity about what's going on in the market where we live. So I can enroll my clients to get market watch reports saying, here's the average asking price for homes in this market, the number of days that they're staying for sale, the total number of homes in the market. And this can run weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly. It's just general snapshots of market activity. So they keep getting this for years. I know my realtor, or the realtor that's in the neighborhood, has been sending me data about this city for the last 10 years. So maybe I'm going to give him a call because I see home prices, the average asking price went from 398K. Hey, a year later, this is at 430K. So maybe I should take a look. So there's great call to actions to get them to engage with you. And this is something that you could be sending to everybody that you have in your sphere.
So Franklin, Patrick asked a question, and I think it kind of goes along with what you were just saying. And again, I think it may play a little bit to the fear of, and just the worry that if you're an individual agent, small broker, and frankly, even a large broker compared to the bandwidth and the capital that Zillow has, he's saying, all this is great, but if you don't get the traffic to your website, how is it going to help? So we don't want people to give up before they start. Understanding that I'm probably never going to have a public market behind you and have, billions of dollars of investment. How do you still win even though you don't have that? Because that's the bottom line, what we're trying to help everybody understand today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think we kind of addressed that a little bit earlier in that you don't need to have 39 million visitors to your website for your messaging and your branding to be effective. That's not the case. There's a variety of different ways that you can get traffic to your site through optimizing for local markets, neighborhoods, subdivisions in your area, building out content, being smart with your social media advertising and branding. There's tools that we do on the marketing end that are reputation management type services, where we're reaching out to local businesses in the cities where realtors work and then getting them to share blog articles, something as simple as these are the top 5 places to buy cupcakes in Canton, Ohio. Then we reach out to those 5 businesses and they all share the story on their social channels. That's going to generate a lot of local traffic to your site. There's ways that you can use the people already in your database, people you've helped move before, import those contacts and start using intelligent prospecting to get them to engage and farm for referrals. I mean, the tools are all there. Don't think just because your site's not going to get as much traffic as Zillow, you still can't be profitable in your business. You still can't find ways to get them to engage, because there's a variety of different ways you can do that with the tools that are available through paid advertising, social media marketing, through SEO, search engine optimization of particular landing pages that are local, as well as just traditionally using a CRM and doing prospecting and farming. Real estate agents are like myself. I'm a sales associate. I'm a sales rep. And a lot of times you just got to sit down at a CRM and use it, do calls, log notes. So you can get as much or as little business as really you put into the efforts for doing these things, like being powerful with your brand, creative with your marketing, efficient with your time, and ultimately for your long-term clients, being reliable. And I think that's something that's helped Delta. And I just want to mention that you absolutely need, as Marilyn mentioned earlier, you need a powerful partner on your side to help you with this marketing, because Zillow's got hundreds of millions, billions of dollars behind what they're doing. And you need a technology partner that can help you navigate through some of these different strategies that you're going to be employing. So you need a reliable partner to go along with you along the ride. I mean, you're not just alone in your business. When you partner with other agencies like Delta or with Delta, we can help you in a variety of ways. And for us specifically, we are all local, based in Canton, Ohio. We don't have any outside support. Our clients can call us on the phone. I know some companies don't offer phone support anymore, but you can call our reps. You can live chat with us. And we do live training every single Tuesday to help people get through the process of setting up their CRM or importing their contacts. So find a partner that fits with your culture, that is reliable and doesn't leave you out to dry and you don't hear from them for 2 weeks or 3 weeks when you reach out to them with a question or need. So finding a reliable technology partner is really important part of the equation as well.
So a couple of add-ons to what you just said. So Cindy asked, how much training is there and how often can we get help? And is there personal onboarding? And then another person asked about, I'm relatively new to real estate. I'm not new to real estate, I'm new to an area. How can you help me actually build out a valuable database so I can start getting those referrals and repeat business?
Mm-hmm. So to address the first couple of questions, we provide unlimited support trainings via request. So, I mean, we do live trainings for groups of agents every single week. We do those typically on Tuesday mornings, but we can do specialized consultative trainings if needed. As far as onboardings, we have an onboarding specialist department that will reach out to you if you sign up to work with us, and they will help customize your website, import your contacts, get the automations running. So we essentially at our company are working as if we're an administrator at your firm. We're helping get your business up and running. And then as far as being new to an area, we have marketing strategies where our marketing department can be doing content writing, can be reaching out to businesses in your area where we can help get that stuff kickstarted. So there are marketing packages available that we could help you start generating those lists. And what I'd like to have everybody do is kind of think for a second as we've gone through being reliable is really think, I mean, is Zillow reliable? What is the perception about Zillow's reliability in the real estate industry? We talked a lot about Zestimates. Are Zestimates reliable? Are they accurate? I mean, this is a prime example of Zillow is not really that reliable when it comes to support or when it comes to different strategies that they've done as it impacts real estate. So they're not really reliable. This is a big area that real estate agencies can focus on, is maintain that element of reliability that you've already been building for decades in some instances. So I ultimately want you guys to walk away with some takeaways thinking that you need to be powerful with your brand, be efficient with your time, be creative with your marketing, be reliable for your clients, but most importantly, be different by taking actionable steps in your business today to prevent that disruption. Because as we've said multiple times, if you're not taking actionable steps now, in a couple of years, you're really going to start seeing the impacts it's going to make on your business, because all the tools are available today to really start making actionable steps to prevent disruption in your business. And just as an aside, I want to throw out stories of other brokerages that are taking these steps. Delta Media Group is a technology and digital marketing agency that runs a print magazine to over 5,000 brokerages across the country. That's all sourced with stories from our clients, brokerages, agents, and teams, and how they're leveraging marketing and technology tools to be more efficient in their business, to be different. And so this is a free magazine. Anybody on this call can sign up to receive digitally or print copies. You can go to deltagroup.com and it's right on the homepage to sign up for the magazine. But there's no paid ads in this. It's all content sourced from peers of yours in the real estate industry. This is the cover story that we did most recently for Coach Realtors out of Long Island, New York. And again, there's a ton of content available for you, even if you are interested in just getting ideas on how other teams, agents, and brokerages are leveraging technology in their business to success. So that's a great resource for you to use that's completely free. And really that kind of hammers in on the takeaways. And we're going to have a print kind of handout that we're going to distribute to everybody that registered for this call, where we basically have created this checklist that I would challenge you guys to check, go down each one of these categories and check the boxes. Can you check each one of these things in your business today? Do you have a great looking company website? Do your agents have great and customizable websites? Are you trying to rank from a SEO, a search engine optimization standpoint, for rankings for neighborhoods and subdivisions and school districts? Do you have automated content for your social media channels? Are you using newsletters? Do you have automated task lists for your prospecting efforts? What about your flyers? Are they automated? Are they customizable? Are you doing advertising on the social channels? When reliability for your clients, are you giving timely and quality information to your sellers? Are you proactively giving real estate information to your market? And are you delivering real-time new listing alerts to your buyers? And finally, be different. Are you taking actionable steps in your business every single day to proactively get ready for disruption that's going to be happening with a new competitor? As Marilyn said, this is a competitor that is entering every single market. They're in every MLS board. So be aggressive with your brand. You're local. They're this big faceless national entity. And don't settle for the status quo. I mean, a common phrase that's used in sales or in business is if you're not growing, you're dying. So what are you doing to grow your business every day? And so kind of what I'll end with as we go into the last bit of questions is that there's actionable steps you can take today. And for those of you that don't already check all those boxes, if you're looking for something or want to take a look at other options on the market, our product is designed to help save you money. We really want to help be the champion for real estate agencies and brokerages and teams and agents across the country. And so if you were trying to piecemeal together what's offered in our all-in-one solution, you'd be spending as an independent agent upwards of $200 a month. And we have solutions that are available for any real estate professional with no annual contracts, no setup fees, a free 30-day trial without entering a credit card. You can leave this call today, go to our website, sign up for a free trial, and start utilizing a service to make those automated steps in your business today. For single agents, there's packages between $25 and $99. And for brokerages and teams, we have packages ranging from $300 to $950 a month based on the number of agents you've got in your team or company. And again, this is a free offer for you guys to get hands-on, try it for 30 days, see how you like the onboarding process. But all the things on that checklist that we're going to be sending out to all of you in an email are inside of this system, and you could start making those actionable steps today. Or at the bare minimum, if you're interested in setting up a consultative call, you can reach out to us as well, and we can help see, what steps can we help you make in your business to get ready for Zillow. That's ultimately our plan for our clients, is help our brokerages plan for Zillow, and we want to make sure that offer is available to everybody. So Marilyn, do you have anything else to add before we dig into the questions that are left?
No, I think the thing that I would suggest, and I stole this from my partner, husband person in Wave Group, but he has a piece of advice for brokerages that I think is awesome. And I think that if we can flip back to that slide for a minute, which had this one. He said, if I were any brokerage out there, or any agent for that matter, I would do a listing presentation assuming I was Zillow. So flip it, right? What would they say if they were you? If you were them, I should say. And then flip it back and say, okay, so if you had all of these things to put into a listing presentation, not to mention, of course, a great evaluation of what the market is and a demonstration of your experience and knowledge of the market, don't you think that's a pretty powerful listing presentation? Because most of these things, in fact, pretty much all of these things, can't happen from a national company. They can only happen from someone that understands that local market and owns it, doesn't understand it, owns it, loves it, dies for it, right? Serves it in its very passionate way. Don't ever forget that passion can take you a long way too. And I did want to let everybody know this handout is available. If you go into the chat, you'll see one that says to download the handout, please click here. So feel free to do that. If not, again, we'll be sending to all of you as a thank you for attending today. Jenna Z had a specific question for you, and there's a couple of other ones. We're just about at the top of the hour, but she said, can we create landing pages with your platform?
Absolutely, you can. You can create customizable market landing pages, IDX squeeze pages, so you can be capturing information for people before they view the content. Absolutely, yes. There are customizable pages that you can build on our system.
Okay. The couple of people asked if you have live support. I think you've answered that, but yes, you have. Sounds like lots of live support, probably for lots of hours if I know you guys. Let's see, the pricing that was there, and we'll send that to you in the follow-up as well. So you've got that. There is a recording, so we'll send that to all of you as well. So feel free to share this for the Zillow knowledge, but some obviously just to talk about better ways to promote your business as well. Let's see. Oh, questions too. You mentioned Outlook and another one, I think, but a couple of people were asking if you're an Apple fanatic, like some of us are. Does all of this work if I've got, if I'm using Apple Mail and things like that?
Today, it's not integrated with Apple Mail, but that's certainly a project that's on our radar. So we typically build just based off of need, and most of our clients today are on G Suite or Office 365. But we are certainly looking into Apple integrations as well for that. So not today, but it's on our radar.
Gotcha. And someone asked about what you mentioned RE Technologies YouTube. It's actually RE Technology Inc. INC if you want to go access it there. It's also on retechnology.com. I would guess that a lot of you guys already have subscriptions to retechnology.com. If you do not, feel free to throw your email address into the chat and we'll make sure that you get that, because that's where a lot of the great information from companies like Delta and others comes to help all of us just figure out how the heck we're gonna survive for the long haul and do well in this business, right? So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. And I think those were all of them. I'll just give you guys one more second. Does anybody else want to ask any questions? Oh, actually, Kamala asked, are you able to get emails of people in a certain neighborhood?
So we aren't doing the data farming for that.
Okay.
There's other third-party services we integrate with that do, though. That's actually a great opportunity to share that we are an open API platform. So a lot of services Delta doesn't do in-house. We've never denied working with a third-party vendor, and we don't charge for integrations into our platform. So if there's an additional integration we think makes sense that we want to share with our clients in our platform, we can populate data. We work with Burbio, Lolo Gifts, Skyslope, Dotloop. I mean, we have over 100 integrations in the platform today. So just because Delta doesn't do it, doesn't mean we can't integrate with another third party to accomplish those things.
And a couple more people asking you to go back to the pricing slide, and a couple more people asking about the YouTube channel. It is RE, like real estate, Technology Inc. INC. Michael, if you want to throw the link into the chat, people can grab that too if you want to go there. And we publish all kinds of great educational webinars like this. So I would always suggest when you go there, On the right-hand side, you'll see the little bell symbol. Click on that, and that will mean that every time we publish a new educational webinar like this, you'll get a chance to take a look at it. So it's always a good way to take full advantage of it. Yeah, Michael just put the youtube.com/RE Technology Inc. into the chat. So if you're interested in seeing that, and again, on retechnology.com, there's also a webinar section, so you can find them there as well. So, well, thanks everybody. I'm so glad that you all came to join us today. It sounds like we got we had some good discussion. Franklin, any closing words for the group before we close it out?
I would just say thank you guys all for taking the time to sit down and talk with me today. I appreciate it. Obviously, if you attended this webinar, you're serious about your business. So again, I would encourage, be on the lookout for a follow-up email with the checklist that we're going to share if you didn't grab it out of chat already. And again, we're available for consultative calls. So if you want to set up a consultation with myself, I'd be more than happy to learn more about your business and see if we're the right fit to help you in yours.
Would they go to deltamediagroup.com/free to do that?
Yep, either /free, or if you just go to deltamediagroup.com or Google Delta Media Group, you'll see the very first button you'll notice is a red button that says start a free trial or request a consultation. So you can either kick off a trial, you don't need to talk to anybody, you don't need to enter a credit card, you can start the trial immediately on your own. Or if you do want that consultative call first, I'm more than happy to set up a meeting with you. So that's kind of my closing statement. Thank you guys all so much.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Happy 2021. I'm proud and excited for all of you. I know you're going to have your best year ever. So just keep your head down, find some partners like Franklin, and go make it happen. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Till next time.